Friends, hello and welcome on techguruspeaks.com. Today I would like to describe one of the most important modules in Python, that is called NumPy, which stands for Numeric Python. Basically, NumPy is a module in Python containing multidimensional array objects and a collection of methods for processing those arrays. Using NumPy module, we can perform mathematical and logical operations on multidimensional array objects. If you are already familiar with MATLAB software, so it will become easier for you to getting started with NumPy because the concepts are quite similar. Like MATLAB and NumPy in terms of functionalities are quite similar. Okay, they are actually performing different kinds of operations on multidimensional array objects. An array in NumPy is a grid of values all of the same type and is indexed by a tuple of non-negative integer values. The number of dimensions in an array is called its rank, and the shape of an array is a tuple of integers giving the size of the array along each dimension. So this is the basic concept of Python library NumPy. Now I'll be moving to the demonstration part by using Spider IDE, which is one of the most popular IDEs for Python programming. So let's move to the demonstration part. So here comes the Spider IDE. Now I have written here 6 programs for demonstration, and I would like to demonstrate each of them one by one. So numpy01.py is the first program that I have written here. So from this program to numpy06.py, 6 programs will be demonstrated. So here I will be using a particular module that is called NumPy, which is basically denotes the numeric Python. Now in order to use the different kinds of operations in numeric Python, you need to import the module NumPy in your Python program. Okay, so that is the line to be considered for each of the program that I have written here. So each of the program will be having this line at the beginning, because unless I am importing this module in my program, I won't be able to access the different operations, that is mathematical and logical operations. I cannot access them. So it is important to import this module in your program. Now for ease of demonstration, I will be taking one line of code statement from these programs and it will be run on the IPython console, that is equivalent to the Jupyter notebook. So in that sense, it will become easier for you to understand the flow of the program. That means it will become easier for you to comprehend what's going on and what are the operations being performed. So now I'll be starting with the first line of code statement, that is the idea of importing the module NumPy. Okay, so I have imported this module here. So now I'll be considering a list here. Clear? So it's a list having 9 elements in it. I can also test it whether it has been created or not. So it has been created. So now I am going to create an array from this given list. So how can you create it? By using this code statement. So here the name of the array that I am going to create here is named arr1d, that is a variable name. So by using np.array, so np is the module name, array is the class name within which I have passed the name of the list that I have created just now. So in that way I will be able to create the array from the given list using NumPy module. So it has been created. So I have created an array that is an one-dimensional array. So here you don't have to write print function, because in IPython console, by mentioning the name of the variable, you can see the contents of it. So no need to write the print function here. So then I'll be using the next line of code. So it will be showing its type. Then comes dimension. So it is one dimensional array. Next comes its shape. So basically all of the operations are being performed here. So basically it's an one dimensional array. It is having only one row which contains 9 elements, so that are shown in the output. So it is the shape. Then comes the size. So the size is 9, that is there are 9 elements. So next it is showing the data type for the array. Basically it is showing that we are having integer type of array here. So in that way several operations can be performed on an one dimensional array that is created from a list. So first I need to consider the list, then I have to use this one np.array, within bracket I have to pass the list as an argument, then the array will be created, one dimensional array. Then you can perform different types of operations on the one dimensional array just created. Now I am going to create two dimensional array. First I will create a list here. It is named my underscore matrix. I can also test it whether it has been created or not. So it has been created. Now following the same logic that I did earlier, I am going to create a two-dimensional array from the given list. So now I have to check it whether it has been created. So just copying the name of the variable, and so it will be showing that it has been created successfully. So now I'll be testing the rest of the operations. I would like to know what is the type, that is numpy.nd array, that is n dimensional array. So then comes the next property being checked. So it is showing 2, that means it's a two-dimensional array. Then comes the shape. The concept is quite similar to that of the previous one. So 3 by 3 matrix, that is there are 3 rows and 3 columns that you can see here, 3 rows and 3 columns. So 3 by 3 matrix. Then I would like to know its size. So there are 9 elements. 3 by 3, that means 3 into 3, that means 9. Then comes the type of element that is stored in this. So that is basically showing integer elements. Now I am going to create a three-dimensional array using the same logic that I followed in the earlier cases. First I need to create a list. I think you can now understand basically all of these are basically nested list. Whether you are going to create two-dimensional or three-dimensional array, first you need to create a nested list. Same kind of logic I have performed here also. So I have taken a nested list here. So now I will be So here I have applied the method directly. Okay, so just by using direct approach, that means using the direct approach, I have created the three-dimensional array. So now I would like to check whether it has been created or not. So I can test it here also. So it has been created successfully. So there is no problem. Now I would like to know what is the type. So it is numpy.nd array, that is n-dimensional array, that is, because I have already told you that is capable of creating multi-dimensional array. That is a special feature of numpy. So it is showing the dimension, that is three-dimensional. So that is the idea to be used here. Shape, that is how many, that means, but that means actually you are working with three-dimensional array. That means what? There will be three dimensions. Okay, so 2 by 2 by 3, that means that is the idea to be considered here that I have taken. Okay, basically there will be two-dimensional matrices, and each of the two-dimensional matrix will be having say 2 rows and 3 columns. That is the idea of this thing. Next comes the size. I would like to know its size. So it is 12 because 2 into 2 4 into 3 12. That is the idea. Now I would like to know what is the data type of this particular three-dimensional array. It is showing it is of integer type and the size is 32-bit. So in that way I have demonstrated the first program, and I have given you the idea of creating one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and three-dimensional array by using the np.array, okay, within which you can pass a list directly or you can pass the list after creating it. So that is the idea I have implemented here. Next comes the next program. So now I would like to create a floating point array. So here I have to mention it, like what is the type of array that I am going to create here. So that has been shown over here. So basically whenever you are going to create that kind of array, you must specify it by using this feature, that is dtype equal to within single quotation mark float. That means a floating point array will be created for you. Now I am going to create an array from a given tuple by using the np.array option. That is np is the module name and array is the class name. So it is the tuple that is being passed as an argument. So in that way I have created an array from a given tuple. Now I am going to execute the next two statements. Obviously I can run them together, there is no problem in it. Just C will be showing that an array is being created of dimension 3 by 3 and all the elements are zeros. Okay, now for the next one, that is denoted by the array D, it is showing that all the elements are 1 and it is of dimension 3 by 3. Okay, so that is the idea. Now I am going to create another array which is having constant values of complex type. So that is why I have mentioned here D type equal to complex. So now I would like to check. So that is the idea that has been implemented here. Okay, so the value that is being passed is 5, and how many rows are there? There are 3 rows and 4 columns. So here we are having 3 rows and each of the row is having 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 rows, 4 columns, and each of them is having the value 5. It has been written like 5 plus 0 into j. So in that way we can have, say, complex values, but here all of them are pointing towards the value 5.0. Now I would like to create an array with random values. So that is the idea to be implemented here. So if I write here the variable name, that is f, and press enter, it will be showing the value that is being generated randomly. Now I am going to create a sequence of integers from 10 to 90 with steps of 10. So what is the step value? 10. Okay. So 10, it has been started from 10 to 80. So that is the idea to be implemented here. Now we are going to create a sequence of 6 values in a range of 0 to 3 that we can execute here using IPython console. So it has been created. We are going to create a sequence of 6 values in a range 0 to 3. So the lowest value being 0 and the highest value being 3. That is the idea. Okay. Now we are going to create a 3 by 3 identity matrix by using this option. So it will be now creating an identity matrix. Okay. Now I am going to create another 2-dimensional array here by using np.array. That is a good old option that I can have here. So the name of the array is ARR. So that is shown over here. Okay, now I am going to perform slicing on the array. Okay, so now I would like to check what is the value of temp. It is basically showing an array with first 2 rows and alternate columns like say 0 and 2. So it is the original array that I have taken here. Okay, so it will be basically taking the first 2 rows. That means these 2 rows will be taken into account, and it will be considering the alternate columns, like it will be taking the first, that is the 0th column, and the second column. The rest of the columns will be ignored. In that we have got say 1, that is the first, that is of the first column from the first row. So it is the second value from the first row, that is the 0th row basically. So in that way we have got the 0th element of the first row and the second element of the first row. So that is the idea. Now we are going to consider the example of integer array indexing. So now I would like to check what is the contents of the array that is being created. Clear? So that is the idea. So in that way I can check here. So that is basically showing the elements at indices 0, 1, and that means 0th row, first column, second row, third column. Okay, so that is the idea. So what is the value? So that will be having the value 3 and 2. Okay, so that is the idea that we have taken here. Next comes reshaping a 3 by 4 sample array to a 2 by 2 by 3 three-dimensional array. So how can you do it? So we can use the reshape function, sorry, reshape class here. That is the part of the basically that is a part of the array. So by using the function you can apply the thing, like now you can check it here also. So that means from 3 by 4 sample array you have basically created 2 by 2 by 3 three-dimensional array. So that is the idea. So actually we have taken this array as the input and this is the output. Now I am going to consider a flat array, like suppose we are having an array like this. Now we are going to apply the flatten function on it. So if I am writing here the name of the variable, it will be showing a flatten array. So in that way you can demonstrate different functions on an array. Okay, so basically we have created an array here from this example. Okay, now we have applied defined type of functions like reshape, flatten on the given array. So that is the idea. Next comes another example, that will be creating an one-dimensional array from a given list, and that will be passed directly. Now I would like to add +1 to every element. So 3 becomes 4, 5 becomes 6, 7 becomes 8, 9 becomes 10. Now I would like to subtract 3 from each element. Okay, so that is the idea. Basically it is taking the original array that is created here. Now I would like to multiply each element by 10. Now I would like to perform the square operation, like 3 becomes 9, 3 square 9, 5 becomes 25, 5 square, 7 square 49, and 9 square 81. Now we can also modify an existing entry by using the assignment operator. Now if I print it here, it will be showing like it was the original array. So each of the element is getting multiplied by 2. 3 becomes 6, 5 becomes 10, and so on. Now we are going to create a transpose of the array. So if I am writing the name of the variable, that will be shown over here. So I have performed the transpose operation of the particular array given to us. Then comes demonstrating different types of operator, like whether it is unary operator or binary operator. First I will be taking this array. So this will be created from a given nested list, and we have used np.array. Clear? So now after creating this array, if I am writing here the name of the variable, it will be showing the array being created. Now I can perform several functions on it. Like suppose I would like to know what is the maximum element here. So that can be done by using the max function. It is basically applicable to the array. Similarly, I can also know what is the maximum value on a particular row. So that can be done by using the option. So that will be an argument axis equal to 1. Remember that axis equal to 1, this value of argument will denote row here. So it will be showing you the value 369. Okay, because you can check it here also, like for this row the maximum element is 3 that is for the 0th row. For the first row the maximum element is 6, and for the last row, that is for the second row, the maximum element is 9. So all the maximum elements of each of the individual row has been shown over here. Now I would like to apply this operation on columns. So the column option will be made available by using the argument axis equal to 0. Remember it. For axis equal to 1, it will be denoting row. For axis equal to 0, it will be denoting column. So now what are the highest value for each of the individual column? For 147 it will be 7, for 258 it will be 8, for 369 it will be 9. So it has been shown over here. That is the idea. Now I can also perform summation, because I am going to apply here different kinds of mathematical operation. So the sum is 45, you can also check it. Now I would like to perform cumulative sum along each row. So the name of the method is SUM. So suppose the value is here. Since we are going to calculate the cumulative sum along each row, so row means what? Axis equal to 1. Clear? So that is the idea. So it has been applied here. So now I would like to explain it like it is the original array. So first element, 1 plus 2 3, so that shows the cumulative sum. So 1 plus 2 3, then 3 plus 3 6, so that is why it is 6. Now for the second row it is 4, so it is basically coming from this. Now comes 5, so 4 plus 5 9, next comes 6, so 9 plus 6 15. Here first element is 7, so it is showing 7. So 7 plus 8 15, cumulative sum is 15 till this element. Like if I am considering this element, then 15 plus 9, that is 24. So in that way you can generate the cumulative sum along each row. Now I would like to demonstrate you some examples of binary operators. So I will be taking here two array because I need to consider binary operations here. As I have told before, you can execute more than one statement at a time. So now I would like to print what is the value of A and what is the value of B. Okay, so now I would like to perform addition that is being performed. I would like to perform multiplication. So all these are binary operations. I can also perform here matrix multiplication. The earlier example was basically related to say element wise multiplication. Clear? But the last operation that I will be applying, actually what I am going to apply is basically denoting the operation matrix multiplication. So it is showing by using the dot function. So A dot B, that is the idea. So A is the first matrix, B is the second matrix, and by using the dot function you can apply it. It is basically the example of matrix multiplication. Next comes the fifth example. I would like to create here an array of signed values. So now I would like to check it. Yes, it has created a series of signed values. So it is a value, basically it is a value being generated here. Now I would like to check what are the values being generated. Okay, so that will be shown over here. Now I would like to create exponentiation values, like basically exponential values will be generated now. It is the array. Now I would like to perform exponent of array elements by using the function exp. That will be showing the result. I can also perform here the square root. Okay, so that is the idea. So it has taken this array as the original array. Now I will be taking another array which is basically a two-dimensional array. So I can check it here also. So it is having 3 rows and 3 columns. Now I would like to arrange them in sorted order, irrespective of their row or column. Clear? So they have been sorted here. Now I would like to consider row wise sorted order. So I have already told you axis equal to 1 means row and axis equal to 0 means column. So that has been sorted. So it was the original array. Clear? Now I have sorted them row wise. 1 4 2 it will become 1 2 4. 3 9 6 it will become 3 6 9. 7 minus 2 5 it will become minus 2 5 7. That is the idea. Now I am going to apply column wise sort. So here I am mentioning the particular kind of sort, that is, say for example, quick sort. Clear? So the original array is basically this one. So it is basically doing column wise sort. So for example, if it is 1 3 7, so it is okay because it is already sorted. For the second column, 4 9 minus 2, it will become minus 4 2 9. 2 6 5, it will become 2 5 6. So here it is axis 0. Axis 0 means column. And here you can also specify which kind of sorting technique being applied. And that happens to be quick sort here. It is a last example. So the name of the function that I am going to use here is called normal. So it is basically coming from the, say, random class of the NumPy module. So from that particular class I have taken the normal method. It is having 3 arguments like LOC, scale and size. Okay, so basically it is showing the mean of the distribution. The next value, scale, it is showing the standard deviation of the distribution, and the last one is showing the size of the distribution. So first I am going to create the array. So it has been created. You can also check it here, like whether it has been created or not. Yes, it has been created. So here the mean of the distribution will be 3 and the standard deviation will be 0.5 that I have mentioned here, and the number of elements being generated is 5. Now I would like to apply different operations on it, like I would like to know what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, what is the mean value, that is average value, and what is the median and standard deviation. So that can be performed on the given array. Clear? So it is showing the minimum value. of the given 5 values from the array that has been created just now. Now I will be considering what the max. So instead of taking mean, now I will be taking the max value. So what is the max value? So it will be shown. Okay. So this is the maximum value. Then I would like to check the mean value of the array. Mean means average. So that is the statistical mean of the average value, because all these are numeric values. So it is showing the mean value. Now I would like to consider the median value. So it is the basically median value. Okay. Then I would like to check the standard deviation. So all these are functions made available in this module named NumPy. So that is the idea we are going to use. So all the functions are demonstrated. So now I hope that you have understood what is the idea of using NumPy. NumPy is basically denoting numeric Python, which is a very popular module for performing different kinds of mathematical and logical operations on multidimensional array objects. It is quite similar to the MATLAB in terms of functionality. So if you are familiar with MATLAB, like if you have used the MATLAB software earlier, it will become easier for you to getting started with this particular module. Another thing is that you can perform several kind of operations, like say statistical operations, mathematical operations, numerical operations, different kinds of operations like matrix addition, multiplication, element wise, or whether it is say normal matrix multiplication or transpose operation, creating eigenvalues, different kinds of operations you can perform by using this particular module. So I hope that you have understood the idea of using the NumPy module in Python. It is a powerful package or powerful module. By using this module, you can perform different kinds of statistical operations or scientific operations that could become useful for you in the future. So I also hope that you have thoroughly watched my video, and if you like my video, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So here comes the link of my channel, and please visit my website. You can find here lots of useful information, and this is my official email ID. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.